Ranking the first 5 books of the Stormlight archive is going to be no easy task, but after having recently finished Wind and Truth, I think I'm finally ready. Number 5, Rhythm of War. Comparing these books is hard. It is no slight to the one that comes last, but Rhythm of War is that book for me. A lot of Rhythm of War, without spoiling, is about scientific growth in Navani, is one of the primary focuses when it comes to characters featured in this book, and nothing against Navani. I just don't find her character quite as interesting. Her working with some other people just didn't quite do it for me like some of the other books did. I did find Kaladin's progression and the pivot to a more emotional and personal focus with him to be interesting, as well as Shallan's continued development in Rhythm of War. Number 4 is actually going to be Wind and Truth. This book did a lot of things that I liked. It was definitely a massive shift in terms of focus, source of various conflicts. Rhythm of War was very much so, in my eyes, sort of a setup book for what Wind and Truth ultimately delivered, and I really enjoyed this book still. I recently reviewed it in a much more comprehensive manner, so check that out if you're interested in my more complete thoughts. Coming in at the middle of the pack, number 3, for me is going to be the one that started it all off, Way of Kings. This is such a memorable reading experience. I remember first picking up this book and being extremely intimidated by it, especially as the world was beginning to be built, shrouded in that air of mystery. It required a lot of attention to detail to keep up with the new people being introduced, breathtaking action, a lot of cool ancient lore, really inventive and engaging magic systems. It lays the groundwork for a really fun series that I've enjoyed so far. Number 2 for me is going to be Oathbringer. I feel like it was the most eye-opening out of all of them. Both Way of Kings and Words of Radiance were shrouded in a lot of, not necessarily secrecy, but mystery, and a lot of lights were turned on in terms of things being revealed, plots being progressed. This was a very Dalinar-focused book, and Dalinar and his history as the Blackthorn is one of my favorite things about the Stormlight archive so far. So Oathbringer was a lot of fun. And that leaves only the number 1 spot, which is book 2 in the series, Words of Radiance. I loved reading this book. I feel like the conflict really escalates in Words of Radiance. A lot of interesting transitions from book 1 to book 2 in terms of character progression begin to materialize here. The stakes for which they're fighting for just continue to rise. That long lost knowledge that is alluded to in book 1 begins to sort of come into the light, and you start to know a little bit about what is going on. In this book probably has the most battle scenes and just sequences in general that gave me goosebumps while reading it. So Words of Radiance, easily my favorite so far. Let me know what yours would be.